Hi, I hope you're good. Today we are doing a twisting theme for our yoga practice today. So if you've been feeling not so great, maybe in the old tummy region, things are feeling a bit stagnant and need a bit of moving around, you might find that this one is good for you, as well as for your back. So for your spine, for your lengthening out your back muscles, maybe those areas are feeling really tight. Maybe you've just spent like so many hours at the desk and you're here with me now needing a little bit of you time. So we're in the right place. We're going to do this together. What do you need? You need your yoga mat, you need yourself, you need to come in with this with an open and clear mind. As long as it's, I was going to say if it's dirty. Oh my goodness, where is this going? Worst at intros ever. Let's do this. So if you don't want to start off in a kneeling position like I am, then you can sit down for this one, it's not a problem. Sit down comfortably, perhaps cross-legged. But if you're kneeling, then you want to make sure your knees are roughly in line with your hips, and I can feel that the heels are underneath the sit bones, and just avoid overlapping the feet because this will tilt the pelvis and we don't want that to happen. We want to be nice and balanced. Draw navel to spine. Try and roll your shoulders back and lift up through the crown of the head. And then find this imaginary wall behind you, because I tend to sit forwards. I don't know why I do that. Yeah, try and sit up and back a little bit. Roll the shoulders back and palms of the hands are going to face upwards towards the ceiling. Try and relax the fingertips and the toes and close the eyes. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out through the mouth. Deep inhale through the nose. Long exhale out through the mouth. See if we can move that breath down into the belly slightly now, rather than it being stored in the chest and providing stress there for the shoulders or for the neck. So try and melt away any of that tension going on in the upper body and try and find some freedom here and flexibility in the belly, so that way the belly can kind of inflate here on that inhale, and then on the exhale is where I want you to draw navel to spine and see if you can lift up through your pelvic floor muscles as if you're trying to hold in a wing. So as I inhale, I expand the belly, allow the rib cage to be nice and full, but on the exhale, draw navel to spine and lift up through the pelvic floor muscles. So try that one more time, inhaling, allowing this really nice big expansion for the torso. Then on the exhale, draw navel to spine and draw in and up through the pelvic floor muscles. So this really nice core control and awareness happening. So whenever you're ready, we're going to reopen the eyes. And then we're going to come onto all fours. So if you need to stretch out the feet after those, then just do that because you've been sitting down or kneeling. All right. But once you're on all fours, you want to make sure you've got shoulders above wrists and hips stacked above the knees. Okay, so spread the hands out nice and wide, or the fingertips I should say. And we're going to come into cat and cow. So whenever you're ready, you can begin this with me with your cat stretch. Your head is down, lengthen your tailbone towards the backs of the knees. And then move into cow pose, lift your chin and your sit bones up towards the sky. So try and make this a full spinal movement. Try not to just kind of favour nodding the head. Try to involve the pelvis to move here as well. So you practice that nice flexion and extension here of the spine. I kind of always imagine around sort of the bra strap line area, trying to really float nice and high up towards the ceiling, so I get a really good sort of arch. And the cow pose I really like for stretching out the belly and the abdomen, especially if you're on your period or leading up to it. It's a really nice one as well. It's really nice and simple, and you can pretty much do this one anytime. So next up from here, we're going to come to a neutral spine, and we're going to walk the hands back about halfway, and then I want you to bring your knees out to the sides, about the width of your yoga mat is pretty good. And then bring your big toes to touch together, so don't sit all the way back, okay? So you still want your buttocks away from your heels. Now we're going to push away the floor and lift the left hand up towards the sky, so you really want to get this nice big expansion, and then we're going to bring that left elbow down so it can either touch the floor or thread through the wrist and the knee. And you're just going to do that a few times. So if you're ever practicing these at home, I would say, 5 to 10 of these are pretty good on each side. All right, so you'll notice it's a really nice way of opening up the body here, and it gets that twist in as well. I really love these, and I really like these for my shoulders as well. I find that these are a really good one to do if you're into your upper body workouts or you lift lots of weights, or perhaps you're lifting up the kids all the time, things like that. Okay, so we're going to change sides. I feel like I did loads on that side. I'm so sorry. So I'm changing sides now. Remember, the elbow doesn't have to touch the floor. If you're doing this one and the elbow doesn't quite touch the floor, don't worry about it. And if you need to move a bit slower than I'm doing, that's okay as well. So you go at your own pace. But this should feel really good. So I'm only just starting to feel like I'm sort of warming up to those. And another thing sometimes I do is I'll hold and I'll push away the floor and feel as if someone's grabbing the arm and taking it up and back. And that's also really good. All right, so I'm back onto all fours again. I'm going to throw in a cat and cow. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but I'm going to do that for me. And then neutral spine, so all fours, once again, just make sure that the hands aren't creeping close towards the knees or anything like that. And we're going to lift up into downward facing dog. So take it nice and slow, lift the hips nice and high, externally rotate the shoulders away from the ears, so you want to broaden the upper back, and make sure your heels are just behind the fronts of the ankles there, or fronts of the feet. Keep pushing away your mat. If the heels don't want to be down towards the floor, lift up really high onto the balls of the feet where your highest heels, and wriggle the bum. Give that tushy a little wiggle. Should feel really, really nice. And then from here, we're going to walk the feet towards the back. We're going into plank pose. And remember, you can either be in full plank like I am, or mermaid plank. I'm demonstrating that now with the knees coming down, tailbone kind of facing the same direction as the knees. If you're in full plank, push into the heels though, navel to spine. Squeeze the sides of the waist. Close the eyes. Set your shoulders away from the ears. Keep pushing away the floor. Now we're going in for Chaturanga Dandasana. Like I said, you can bring the knees down first if you want to, just mellows it out a bit. And press down through the tops of the feet, bend those elbows in line with the shoulders, all right? And then you're going to start to scoop up and lift up the chin, chest and heart. So roll the shoulders back, strong legs, set deep into the mat. A lot of people forget about that one, and I really want you to kind of maybe put that as like the first thought in your mind for a bit, to set good habits. So I'm going to push back into child's pose. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the left hand back so it's near my left knee. And then I want you to play around with, as you're walking this right hand forwards, kind of creeping there on the fingertips, you'll find that your buttocks move away from your heels. So just pause and hold at a place that feels good, where you can feel this really nice stretch along the right shoulder or the armpit. And if you've got any shoulder issues, you might need to slide this left hand now underneath the shoulder and lift your chest and heart up a bit more so it's less intense if you're worried about like the rotator cuff as an example. All right, so I'm going to walk that hand back and start off maybe in child's pose, and then slide the right hand back, and then the left hand is going to do the same again. Like I said, you can either stay kind of here, or if you need more support, take the right hand underneath the shoulder, the right shoulder, and then lift the chest and heart up so that you've got a bit more support, but still focus on the external rotation of the shoulder, moving it away from the ear, and maybe even the inside of your elbow trying to face upwards towards the ceiling. And I know it feels really weird, but try and feel as if like you've super glued the hand into the mat, and then kind of pull as if someone's pulling the hips back slightly, so you feel that little pinch of resistance there. All right, so I'm going to push back now into child's pose, and I'm doing an extended child's pose. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knees really wide, big toes touch together, reach the hands forward. So this is a really nice option if, well, it could be any reason really, it doesn't matter. I wouldn't say it sort of is limited to even genders or anything like that. It just feels good for, you know, some people having the knees wide apart together. Certainly in pregnancy, it feels way better to have the knees wide apart as well. And then slowly rise up. Okay, so sit yourself back. If you need to sit down on the buttocks, that's fine, or you might be able to kneel back like I am, and then take some of these nice big sort of back stroke circles. All right, so next up what you're going to do is you're going to be in downward facing dog, but we're going to play around with trying to reach the one hand to opposite leg. Okay, so just be prepared. And if you haven't done it before, take it extra slow. It may or may not work out. Don't worry about it. It took me a while to fathom out as well. All right, so push away your mat from all fours. Lift up into your downward facing dog. Neck is nice and long. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. And what we're going to do is we're going to just shift just the smallest bit of weight to the left hand side, enough so you can slide this right hand back. And that might be enough for you, or you might be happy now grabbing on to, say, the left calf or the left ankle, feeding your body around towards the side, and twist. All right. Then you're going to change sides from here, so come back into your downward facing dog. And we've got the left hand sliding back, so you can see I've planted it down onto the floor, but now I'm seeing if I can go into that full twist, wrap the hand around the outside of the leg, look out to the side or underneath your armpit, keep lifting the hips up, keep pushing away from the floor, and then back into your downward facing dog. Walk the feet towards the back, good job. Into your chosen plank. Chaturanga Dandasana down and lifting up into Cobra. Now, like I said, we want strong legs with this one. All right. Now, set the feet down into the mat. Lift up through the pelvic floor muscles, navel to spine. We're going to bend the elbows more, and you're going to look over the one shoulder. And then you're going to come back to center. Again, soften the elbows more. Look over the other shoulder now. Good. And then from here into downward facing dog. Good. Keep pushing away the mat. Now we're going to take a nice walk on the spot and alternate between bending and straightening out the legs. All right, so we've got one more of those vinyasas to do, coming into plank pose, into chaturanga, lifting up into cobra, and into downward facing dog. Oh, good. Keep pushing away the floor. Come up really hard to the balls of the feet and walk the feet forwards towards the hands. So now we should be in forward fold. So feet hip distance, you can either hang down nice and heavy, perhaps bend the knees. You can hold on opposite arm to opposite elbow if you want to, or straighten out the legs a bit more or fully, and wrap the arms around the backs of the legs. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, elbows in alignment there with the shoulders. Entirely up to you. Hands to shins, push away from the legs. We're lifting up halfway. On your exhale, forward fold back down. Again, inhale, lifting up halfway. Exhaling to forward fold. We're going to rise up to standing. Bend the knees, drop the arms down nice and heavy, and finally roll up the spine to standing. Slowly is key, so that way we don't see any stars. Roll the shoulders back, reach the hands up, and bring the hands to come down to prayer. Good job. Okay, so we're in this standing position here, and if you need to, you can step the feet forwards. I'm going to do that so that way I've got room to step forwards, to step backwards there onto my yoga mat. Again, we want the feet hip distance apart. Lengthen the tailbone down towards the heels. Roll the shoulders back and away from the ears. Bring the hands to come to prayer. So we want to feel like we're our tallest and best selves here in this position in mountain pose. We're going to inhale, sweep both hands up towards the sky. On your exhale, bend the knees, crease through the hips, forward fold down once again. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhaling to forward fold down, bend through the knees, and we're going to step back with that right foot into low lunge. So feet hip distance apart, sink down into the hips, then lower the back knee down towards the floor. So you want your front knee just above the ankle. If you need to adjust that, do that now. Slowly rise up so that way you've got hands there onto the hips, preparing for this beautiful low lunge where you get to really open up the front of the body, work on Trying to open up through the hamstrings, the head of the quad, and lift the chest and heart upwards towards the sky. So you want to roll the shoulders back, navel to spine. So you can reach one or both hands up towards the sky. I really like that one, that sort of imaginary beach ball in between the palms of the hands. Or you can start to hold on opposite hand to opposite elbow and rest the head into the arms and close the eyes if you feel like you've got your balance there. Quite intense, I'm not going to lie, but it feels really good. Now we're going to set up for a twist, so we're going to have this right elbow going over this left thigh, and then you're going to bring hands to prayer and lift your left elbow up, so you want the hands really close in towards the body for that one. Push the legs into the, push your arms into your front leg, and your front leg into your arm, and slowly does it with that twist. So if we can take it up a notch, we're going to tuck the toes underneath of the back foot and play around with lifting the back knee and thigh away from the floor and push into the back heel. How are you doing? So this is where some people start wobbling and they're a bit all over the place. So you can always take the back knee down if you feel like you've got a bit more control, but try and stay with me. Okay, good job. From here, slowly rise up, or lower the back knee down, I should say. Rise up with the arms. All right, and now you're going to be taking those warrior arms. So you've got right arm forward, left hand back. All right, you can even wrap the arms around the legs to kind of help you with the twist if you need a bit more. Okay, so reach the arms back up towards the sky, and again, arms into the T shape, right hand forward to left hand back. If you need a bit more help, use the arms on the legs to help you with your twist. Okay. So we're going to go over towards the other leg now. So come down onto the fingertips, tuck the toes underneath, step forwards. Oh my goodness, that one side just feels completely different to the other. I really can't wait to get onto the other side because I hate it when you're in between and it just doesn't feel quite right. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhaling to forward fold. Like one leg feels longer than the other. All right, so step back with the left foot, feet hip distance apart, knee just above the ankle. Down we go with the back knee. And then walk the hands up the legs for this lovely low lunge. So try and move your hips forwards rather than, you know, having this very sort of compact lunge and having a lot of weight on the back leg if we can help it. All right. And then reach one, maybe both hands up towards the sky and hold on to the elbows. I really like getting to this point where it's like, this feels nice. Lots of breathing. And you might notice, I don't know if you notice it on me, if it picks it up on, you know, camera, but I can feel the legs having to work so hard to kind of keep you balanced. So even though I'm not balancing on one foot, you know, I have to work really hard for this one, and I can feel my legs having to engage just constantly to keep me here basically. All right, so I'm going to release, and I've got the left elbow now going over the right thigh. Hands to prayer, prayer close in towards the body, right elbow facing up, push away from the legs. All right, so you can either stay here or carry on with me and lift the back knee and thigh up off the floor and push into the back heel. Oh, how's that feeling? So keep working on that twist, keep pressing the arms into that front leg, roll the inner thigh outwards, don't let the arms collapse that knee or affect the hip. We want lots of breathing. Getting a really good rinse out here of that waistline. Slowly lower the back knee down towards the floor. Legs still having to work hard. Reach back up into crescent. Now we're going in for the arms into a T shape for that twist. So we've got left hand forwards and right hand back. All right, I'm going to apply the hands definitely on this side. All right, for that, more of that twist. Do that one more time. Inhale to reach up. And again to twist. Press that front foot deep into the mat. Don't lose control there of the legs and of the core. And then back to center. Good. This time we're going to move into downward facing dog. So hands either side of that front foot. Tuck the toes underneath of the back foot and step back here into downward facing dog. I'm going to make that downward facing dog just a little bit longer. I felt like it was a bit short there. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Push away the mat. Into plank pose. Chaturanga Dandasana down. Remember, elbows in alignment with the shoulders. I know it's difficult. And I'm in Cobra now, lifting the chest and heart. And then push back into downward facing dog. So we're going to go into that twist again. So make sure you feel like you've got a really good grip of your yoga mat there. Use your fingertips as well. Don't forget about those. And then we're going to slide that right hand to the outside of the left leg somewhere, calf, ankle, whatever, and look underneath your armpit. Hello. And then back into your downward facing dog. All right, so I'm going to change sides. So we've got left hand grabbing onto the outside of the right leg. So if you ever feel like, oh, the yoga mat's letting me down, use a bit of chalk on your yoga mat there. Chalk it up a little bit and you find that you've got fantastic grip. All right, so you can use liquid chalk as well if you don't have the regular chalk. So I'm back in downward facing dog. I'm going to walk the feet towards the back, going into plank pose. Chaturanga Dandasana down, Cobra rising. And this time push back into child's pose because we need it. Right? So again, it could be feet hip distance, knees nice and wide, reaching the hands forwards or stacking the hands on top of one another, resting the forehead into the hands, whatever works for you. I'm going to give the body a bit of a wriggle, just to relax everything down. I think I've said it before in videos where I don't when I'm practicing yoga like by myself, it's not filmed, it's just for me, then I like having the arms extended and the head down, or I'll use blocks and stuff. But for some reason when I'm teaching, I prefer sort of the head still being lifted, and I think it's because I'm talking to you guys, that's probably why. It feels rude to have like my head just muffled into the floor. So whenever you're ready, we're going to slowly come all the way up, roll the shoulders back and away. We're going to come down onto the buttocks so you can scooch your hips forwards. All right, and I want you to position the feet about hip to shoulder width apart. All right, and then reach the left hand behind you. You want your fingertips pointing away from you. You're going to start to lift the hips, and once you start doing that, you can kind of already gauge like, going to work for me. You don't have to lift any higher up if you don't want to. But if you want to carry on, keep lifting the hips, reach the right arm up and overhead, power through the legs to lift the hips nice and high. So you need to really firm those buns of steel and reach, open up through the chest. And then you're going to slowly come down the way you came into it and then change sides. So right fingertips pointing away, start lifting the hips up and reach. So you've got to supercharge through those legs to lift the hips. Keep lifting the chest, and then slowly come down. Okay, over onto the other side. You might be able to flow into it a little bit. Nicer now. All right, onto the other side. Slowly come all the way down. Well done. Okay, so we'll start off in a crisscross. Yeah, we'll start off by crisscrossing the legs. It's probably a good place to begin. Roll the shoulders back again, find that imaginary wall behind you. We're going to inhale, scoop the hands up towards the sky, and we're going to twist towards the side. So I've got right hand onto the left knee, and then I've got the back hand really close to the base of the spine to help me get into this twist. So remember not to twist from the neck, try and twist from the waistline. Then you're going to come back to center. I like to reach the arms up, and then I go over towards the other side. So I've got left hand onto that right thigh, and the back hand really close to the base of the spine to help me twist further around. Then I'm back to center. So now I'm going to flip myself to the side for you so you can see a bit more. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this left leg in and over the right leg. And you want your left sole of the foot pressing down into the mat. All right. So shuffle around on the buttocks. You might find you kind of wiggle into a better position. Try not to round the spine. You want to pull on that front leg to sit yourself up nice and tall and lengthen through the base of the spine. Keep lifting up through that left leg or that left knee. And now I've got the right arm hugging around this left leg. Left hand really close to the base of the spine. Sorry, I'm breathing. Trying to breathe, trying to teach you guys at the same time, trying to do my best. And yeah, that's what you're doing. So I would say exhale more on the twist, like, and then I tend to inhale, ease off just a little bit, and exhale when I'm twisting around that little bit further. And then you can counter that twist and go the other way without changing the legs if you want to. We do that a lot in my classes. Now we've got the right leg folded in, left leg straight, and now the right leg over the left leg, sole of the foot pressing down. Wriggle on the butt cheeks, make sure you're nice and even, balanced. Right knee facing up towards the ceiling. Either wrapping or hugging the left arm around the right leg, I'm so sorry. And this right hand really close to the base of the spine. Try and relax the shoulders. I know it's difficult though sometimes where stress comes back. It likes to find us again. Really feeling it in the glute though. It's interesting with this one. And then I'm just going to release and just twist the other way. That feels good. Okay, so whenever you're ready, you can start to lay yourself down. We're going to do a reclining twist before we seal off our practice today. So if you need to grab some water first, or maybe layer up, I don't know, put your hoodie or your socks on or something like that, then do that now. All right, so once you are comfortable, we are going to bring both knees in towards the chest and the feet off the ground. Try and keep your knees together, and we're going to bring the arms out to the sides into a T shape. Press the palms of the hands into the mat. Take both knees over towards your right hand side and turn your head towards the left so you get this lovely full spinal twist and rotation. So relax the shoulder. It may or may not touch the floor, that left shoulder. Don't worry about it if it does or doesn't. Try and relax the feet down and the knees down as well. Your body will do what it wants to do when it's ready. All right, so there's no need to force these areas down for this twist. And then you're going to come back to center. Oh, and then over to the other side. Oh, that feels so good. Navel to spine. Lots and lots and lots of breathing. So you typically would have knees moving in one direction and head turning the other way. And then back to center. We're going to go into happy baby next, so bring the knees out nice and wide. I know it's not pretty at all. And then soles of the feet are going to face the ceiling. We're going to hold on to the hamstrings, ankles or outer edges of the feet. It's entirely up to you. So as long as you don't look like a sort of bug that's turned upside down, then we're all good to go. And you can gently sway side to side, start to close the eyes. You don't need those open anymore. And I'm going to leave it up to you whenever you're ready to let go of the feet and lower them downwards towards the floor. So if you need more support, I would recommend that we bend the knees and plant the soles of the feet there into the mat, and that way you might need to temporarily kind of just lift the hips up, lengthen the spine, and then plant the back and the buttocks down to the floor. Or you can straighten out the legs out in front of you if you wish. The only thing I would avoid is crisscrossing the legs. So we're going to start off by acknowledging that we're here and in this present moment. That hopefully throughout this practice today that you've trusted yourself, your body and your instincts. I think, there's so much doubt thrown our way. Should we be doing this? Should we be eating that? Should we be doing this right now? Or move away from all of that. Just be so happy where you are. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Relax the face and the jaw muscles. And if you are going through a particularly, hard, worrying time in your life, then I want you to really do your best to allow your body to relax and for your yoga mat or the floor to take you and to support you at this point. It's in times like this where you feel like you have to be strong for other people, or for family members, or for friends maybe. And whilst you're here, that sort of hardened shell, that sort of hardened exterior, I want you to just melt just a little bit. I know it's really hard when you feel vulnerable, but here in your yoga practice, I want you to be yourself. Let go of maybe the things you haven't been able to have control of and change. Breathe. Remember your breathing. In through the nose and out through the mouth. But then I want you to acknowledge that strength and just hold a moment of gratitude for how far you've come, what your body can do, what your mind can do. And if your mind has wandered away, come back to the breath. Thank you so much for practicing yoga with me today. I'm going to leave you here now so that way you can just absorb the rest of your practice and be ready for whatever else you've got next to do and lined up. But I really hope you enjoyed this practice with me, and I'll see you next time on the yoga mat. Thank you so much.